enough, given that he is a support. But there's no harm in running that Widowmaker out the gate.
No, he's very happy with himself at IEM Sydney when he managed to pick off that Lucio, peeking to see the composition, and it could happen again. Flo's in the walls. Let's see if he goes for the peek. Doesn't look like he will though, and Order probably just going to swap to 3-3 here. Yeah, if we were going to see the Sombra, I think we would have seen it on Busan as well for the side of Sydney Dropbears. So I'm just expecting a 3-3 matchup going in here.
It doesn't make sense for Order to be going for a Sombra either. It's something that they haven't played really at all last season. They had so much success on Goats, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it is my ethos. And I think that's the ethos as well for Order. But to push on forward to point A of King's Row. And it's just the kind of the Reinhardt stalemate at the moment. Quats now with the speed boost is going to charge on forward, and wow, what a start for Order. They've just cleaned up Winter and Dreamer, and they're like bowling pins. And, well, Order is the metaphorical bowling ball.
Yeah, very good external there. Very well-timed external bubble from Cyan meant that Quad's got maximum amount of damage, cleaving 2 or 3 players with every swing there, meaning there wasn't enough time to heal them all up and they go down quickly. That was a very, very fast take from Order, and they'll be happy with that because that first point can be a bit of a doozy.
Can definitely. Especially if you get off to a bad start, then you have to take 2 or 3 fights to try and equalize the ultimate disadvantage, but not going to be the case for Order. Certainly is going to have to be the case though for Sydney Dropbears. They're quite substantially behind. And Order, look at how much free payload push they're getting here. Sydney Dropbears not able to contest until they get really to the corner at this point.
Yeah, getting a lot of free damage poke there on side of Order with Signed and Jordation building their ultimates, but the Kraken has his to match. This corner bookshop fight is often a very big one for these Earth Shatters, so let's see if any of the Reinhardts can sneak one through here under the payload.
Well, they're both sitting at exactly the same amount of charge. Quat's now just getting a bit of an advantage, but it's really not going to be much of an advantage, although he does get it past the shield. It was kind of in front of the shield even, those 2 players that are on the ground. A quick response from Jordation to the Earth Shatter coming across from Sydney Dropbears, and it is going to mean that there's nothing coming from that, and everything invested here by Order for Sydney Dropbears is a bad sign. All of them are going to be wiped across, and that's going to be the clean wipe that Order was looking for. Not a single player lost.
Yeah, perfect ultimate usage there from Order. They managed to get the Transcendence out with the big Earth Shatter, and then Sign just gets the grab off, builds quite some Earth Shatter charge, but Sydney Dropbears using some ults that I don't think they should have there. That Shoyo Diva Bomb was a bit questionable at best, but coming back into the contest here, they will have time to get a contest, and this point is defensive favored.
It's a defensive favored when Sydney Dropbears have to scramble to get to positioning, and Order have had time to build their ultimates back up. I mean, Kotz has got an Earth Shatter again, for God's sake. He literally used it in the last fight, and it goes down this time. He only gets Shoyo on the floor, so not the biggest of prizes. Adam through with the self-destruct. That'll be covered off nicely by Winter. Felon's not suffering for it either. All of that investment from Order has really reaped 0 rewards.
Yeah, Adam with another defensive Diva Bomb there to stop his friends getting killed in that.
Oh,
so the Earth Shatter cancelled by Yuki. Another one. We do notice that, and it's fantastic. They've managed to get an ultimate advantage here. Quad's going low, but Jordation answers with the Transcendence, and now they're pushing on in with this Dreamer. Bother with Adam on the high ground, really laying damage in.
Yeah, such a nice angle for Adam. Look at how much he's going to be able to put into the Reinhardt, who subsequently falls, then charges onto Fluoro as well, and that'll be the end of the fight for Order. Just a little bit too much sticking power there for Order. There was a decent chance for Sydney Dropbears to hold, but the fact that that fight went for so long, I think is actually a benefit in a way for Order. They've got their ultimates back up again, pushing into phase C of the map.
Yeah, Adam getting a ton of damage done that fight. Starting off the fight with that defensive Diva Bomb, and he manages to charge another one. Look for him to use this one maybe more aggressively here, knowing that the support ultimates aren't there and his team can run in.
Oh well, the Shadow goes down, that's cancelled, but Adam holding on to the self-destruct here. We see also the rally coming out from Winter, and that is what the Sydney Dropbears are going to use to push on forward grab here, and all the focus is going into Quats. He will fall. So too will the rest of Sydney Dropbears for their own reasons, or if they were pushed off. Either way, the result is the same. It's the reset out for Order.
Yeah, Order investing the rally there and the Earth Shatter. Quat's feeling himself after hitting so many big shatters in this game already. He's looking for just one more maybe, but a little bit greedy, but that's okay. He's earned it after the big shatter to save Volsky's second point.
Yeah, definitely. I think if you're feeling it, especially as a player like Quats, you might as well go for it.
It's such a fast building ultimate too, especially if you have a Graviton Surge up, you can build that so fast. And he'll try and build it here.
Incidentally, they do. He's going to try and look to take the 1v1 against Dreamer. It won't work out. Charges him away from his team. But Dreamer was getting a little bit of help, and in fact was a little healthier than Quats as he got charged.
Yeah, you really don't want to see those long pins there from Quads. Leaves him very vulnerable in the enemy backline, and Signed manages to find his way to the bottom of the Omnic town there, unfortunately. Means his grab charge is reset as well after using the Graviton Surge there. Order unable to get a kill in that.
Gets a little bit messy towards phase C of the map here for Order. It was looking so good up to this point. Winter not going to be caught off. Nice block there from Quads. So it means that Dreamer's Shadow didn't really have the effect it was intended to.
Now we're looking at a pretty neutral fight here. Diva Bomb from Adam is really the only thing that Order can use to open up the play here.
Yeah, 2 support ultimates for Order versus the 1 of Sydney Drop Bears. There is that extra ability to stay alive, especially considering Fluoro has to invest the sound barrier early, lest someone go down to the self-destruct. Jordation now responding, of course, with his own. Adam getting the eat onto Felons' grab, and this might well be the fight for Order. Everything seems to be coming into place. Pieces of the puzzle fall in order to pick up a very solid fight win. Lots going right for them there. And they do even still hang on to Hunter's sound barrier.
Yeah, you saw the aggression there from Quads making the space and forcing the mistake from Felons to grab into the Matrix. And now Signed with his own Graviton Surge gets a few caught up here. They managed to burn down Winter very low but doesn't fall. Looks like Hunter's sound barrier used offensively into that Graviton Surge, and now it's just a reset. They managed to kite it back. Order with no ultimates. Quads dropping very low. This barrier down. Now he will die. That's a good fight on the side of Sydney Drop Bears. Shoyu will lose his mech, but he can just reset very quickly, and only a minute 40 on the clock after those fast phase for 1 and 2. We're looking at a minimal time bank.
You can see what Order was trying to do there. They're trying to continue to put the pressure onto Sydney Drop Bears, get that early advanced fight for Signed with the Graviton Surge, but it really wasn't quite enough. And now the tables certainly have turned. Sydney Drop Bears, the ones that look like they may well actually full hold at this point. And Earthshatter did go down in the meanwhile there, but it hasn't really resulted in too much. Perhaps Joyo with the self-destruct has something to say about it. No, he won't. And Quats turns around and gets his own Earthshatter down again. Not doing too much. Adam, though, somehow, 2 with the self-destruct. Not to mention the Diva D-Mech. And that'll be round 1 complete. Order do actually push through. So, Class's Curse, I said they might hold. They subsequently lost the next fight.
Yeah, Quats and Adam coming through with great ultimates there. Quats with the 180 block on the Diva Bomb into the Earth Shadow. I know he loves to drop those 180s. Looks special, and it turned out to get a result this time. Usually just goes straight into his shield. But Adam has been good all day with these Diva Bombs, getting 2k after 2k. I think it's his 3rd or 4th now of this series.
That's definitely the 3rd, maybe the 4th.
So Order will be happy with that. Getting over a minute on the time bank, you're always happy with that in King's Row. That 3rd phase can be a really, really hard place to push. It is pretty defensive favored with that long sightline. You can hold your supports back, you can play safely, and you can just have this Zarya just chunking out damage. While the attackers, they kind of have to wiggle and worm way through those corridors to get through to the payload.
Wiggle and worm, huh?
Yeah, a little wiggly worm.
Alright. It's a different way of explaining things, but there you go. I'm sure everyone knows exactly what you're trying to say.
Well, you know, you're going to snake through those bends, and it can be pretty difficult.
You got to wiggly worm your way through the bends.
Really do.
You wiggly do. Alright, Order. On to the defense now. And this is probably where it gets a little bit scarier for Sydney Drop Bears, or at least for Shoyo and a Kraken. You got some nightmares from IEM Sydney looking at this point.
Yeah, there probably is a bit of PTSD about that, but Winter picking this Mei, I'd actually like to see him roll out on it and throw a little spanner into the works. See if Order have been playing against it in practice. I don't think they have, so the Mei could be a pick here.
Well,
I think he's looking for the early wall, actually, to catch anyone off guard, trying to get a little poke spam in, but no, he doesn't find anybody, unfortunately.
I mean, if Winter plays Mei, I think that works perfectly,
Oh,
but
that's pretty fitting.
it is indeed. He's going to go straight back onto Brigitte. Slave to the mace. And Sydney Drop Bears just slow down, waiting for the positioning to open up. Hunter's looking for some boops, but he's going to be forced away with a mace to the face.
Felons gets into a position here. He's putting a lot of damage into Quats, but eventually he goes down. He's just a bit too aggressive, and Dreamer pushed back before he can get the kill onto Yuki. This is looking good for Order, but they have given up point control for now.
Especially with that D-Mech onto Shoyo, there's really not the dive potential. Somehow Shoyo kills Hunter, though, as the baby Diva. What is going on there?
You'd love to see it, actually, but Shoyo getting that baby Diva kill.
I suppose if you're going to lose anyone, you might even be happy to lose the Lucio, because he gets back to the fight a little bit faster in a situation like this. And for now, Sydney Drop Bears, they can't actually really push in just yet. Winter goes down as well, so whatever danger situation there was for Order, it's been very quickly amended.
Yeah, it was a nice shot from Jordation, getting the headshot from across the point. And now it is back to reset. Nothing gained, nothing lost for either team. No ultimates invested, no point capture taken. It's very much just back to the drawing board for the side of the Sydney Drop Airs. They are far behind on this Graviton Surge and this Earth Shatter, so the sign for this early Graviton Surge could prove very deadly without him getting into the position to put the rockets in.
Oh, Kraken luckily has the Transcendence on there. Got pinned by Quartz, which is, in a situation like that, probably what you want to happen, but it does mean that the Transcendence gets forced away from the team, and that's where Order's able to find their kills from. Extra healing that they had was no longer eligible. And for Order, another clean hold. It's definitely a different looking defense from Order this time. Again, mostly because of the change in attacking composition for Sydney Drop Airs. But the result is basically the same. Complete shutout.
Yeah, it's looking a lot similar to what we had at IEM a few months ago. But I'm hoping for the Drop Airs to put up a fight. Maybe Felons can get a big Graviton Surge here, a big Earth Shadow follow, and let's see if they can take this point.
Graviton Surge being held for Felons. He'll throw it on through. Self-destruct across from Shoyo as well. Doesn't net a whole lot. So Adam certainly does. He's been so consistent with his own self-destruction. Both the support ults have gone down now for Order and for Sydney Drop Bears. Well, Kraken's dead, so I guess that doesn't really play into this part. But the rest of Sydney Drop Bears still surviving, although for how long, it does have to be questioned.
Potts goes rampaging through the front line, swinging like a madman, getting 2 kills there. But Sydney Drop Bears, they have capped 67% of the point, meaning they'll have those 2 check marks. And it's better than IEM already.
It is, but is it enough to win this map? Is it enough to keep this map alive? My answer would probably be no. It's looking a little bit scary for Sydney Drop Airs, but we have seen sometimes when the point A takes a long time to get capped, C and B are just like clean wipes, and then you end up with a pretty decent time anyway. Definitely still possible for Sydney Drop Airs. Definitely
still possible. They threw everything and the kitchen sink at the last fight though, so they are trying to charge up these ultimates. Felons getting close, but the Transcendence forced out from a Kraken early.
Graviton Surge also comes across from side, but neither being able to have much of the impact that either of their users would have liked. That is a great Earth Shatter. Oh, Quartzy's done it again. And Sydney Drop Bears are going to be all too familiar with that situation. They're going to be thinking, God damn, why did we trade that guy away?
Oh no, this is, again, Shoyo staggered very, very far away.
No, how does he even reset here?
Oh, there is no resetting for Shoyo. Jordation on the hunt, looking for his old teammate. Decides to give it up, but it really has been the Adam and Quats show today. Very well played from these 2 younger members, and you love to see it, really.
Absolutely. Well, self-destruct across from Adam this time. A little bit ill-placed behind the wall, but not to worry. It is essentially a 5v6 right now for Order, because Shoyo would still not really be having the impact that he would have wanted to, at least earlier in that fight. Now he does get across with the self-destruct, but it comes a little too late, it feels to me. Felons goes down as well, and now just a Kraken to try and pose any concerns for Order, but there certainly will not be any of those as they go up 2-0. Well, almost a full hold on Kings Row. About as good as you really can expect there for Order, and nicely done. Can't complain.
Yeah, you'll take those. You'll call it a full hold, but yeah, that stagger on Shoyo has just got me every time now. 3 times in this series where Shoyo has been staggered for 15, 20 seconds. It's sad to see, to be honest.
Quats is my MVP for this game so far.
Yeah, his Earth Shadow has been really game-changing. Getting that much value off that ultimate that charges that quickly, very, very important.
But the thing is, like, all the Earth Shadows we've been seeing him hit, you're like thinking, okay, if you get 1 or 2 of them in a series, you're pretty happy with it. Like, you know, they're big Earth Shadows. But he's, like, consistently been able to get 1 or 2 a map. So, for me, he's just been having such a performance, and honestly, shouldn't be too surprised. But it's great to see, and doing a huge amount of work for Order at this point.
Yeah, I think Adam has also been very impressive on the D.Va, getting very big ult value as well as being in this positioning. You see him constantly on the side of the Reinhardt shield, behind the Reinhardt shield, or on top of the Reinhardt shield, getting big damage out. Whereas other D.Vas, sometimes they get caught just shooting the Reinhardt shield and getting no damage done. So props to Adam for really noticing how to take these off angles and build that ult charge.
Well, it's a good thing he's not wasting his time trying to run around, scare the Zen out for the Transcendence. But speaking of Transcendences, Jordation, you know, we look at his performance in the Gauntlet. It was obviously not quite up to scratch, I felt, but seems to be going okay here in the first match of AU Contenders Season 2.
Yeah, he looks like to be home and comfortable, and that's good. He is quite a very important member of this Order roster, putting out a lot of damage and a lot of healing. Unto also has been looking good today. He's got a couple of big beat drops that have looked to get maximum value, especially when Geordie hasn't had the
Maximum
Transcendence.
value out of the beat drops.
Maximum value out of the beat drops from Max.
That's not gone over my head at all. Okay, 2-0 for Order. It essentially means that they've won the series now because, okay, best case scenario for Sydney Drop Bears, they win Dorado. It's still a 2-1 loss in the 4-map series. So that's already, off the bat, a win for Order. But we always talk about it, Ben and I. Well, you're Ben as well, but the other Ben, the old Ben, we always used to talk about how important maps are when it comes down to the end of the season, and we saw that last season as well. Sydney Drop Bears, Blank, and Order all very, very close, and there was like 1 or 2 maps in it. So, okay, already a decent start for Sydney Drop Bears, I'll say, in taking a map off of Order, but for Order now, they really need to ensure that it's not going to be a second map.
Yeah, map differential matters a lot, especially with a lot of prize money given out at the end of the regular group stage. Last season it came down, I think it was a 2 or a 3-way tie at the top of the board.
It was a 3-way tie.
3-way tie at the top of the board, and that came down to the Order losing a map to Mavericks in the second last week of the season, or the last week of the season. So that map differential, it does count, and the players are
$10,000, by the way.
It was a $10,000 Kings Row. That
yeah,
we definitely remember that one.
One map was the difference between $10,000 for Order and Sydney Drop Bears. It was Drop Bears that ended up getting it, but I suppose Order won the season. So who's the real winner at the end of the day?
Yeah, they get the trip to China. That's really what it was all about, getting the international experience and exposure, and it was a good trip. It was a fun trip.
Definitely. Dorado is the next map, and you sort of said that, okay, Kings Row might be a bit of a 50-50 one for Order, but they'll be much more comfortable on Dorado.
Yeah, they've got some special spawn hold tactics on Dorado from back from Season 3 of 2018, I think it was, that we pulled that out, and it's more of a fun map, a comfortable map where Adam and Sign can abuse the high grounds on the second point and third point. So I think they're more comfortable looking into this one than they are on a map like Kings Row or Volskaya.
Alright, well, looks like it's Order starting off on attack, at least according to the graphic. Oh, Sign on Genji. Wouldn't you love to see that?
Actually, I would not.
Why
His
not?
Genji is horrendous.
That's why you want to see it.
Yeah, look. He can keep that one to his 3600 matchmaking. Terrorizes that.
Some of us haven't even reached 3600, so let's not get too far into that discussion. Now, already immediately you can see something a little bit different for Sydney Drop Bears here. It's a DPS composition. You've got Winter on the Pharah, so there's the Pharah Mercy combo. Felons is taking Widowmaker. This is something different.
Yeah, at the start of the broadcast I mentioned that this map especially, you could see some Orisa compositions, or you could see some defense compositions featuring DPS on this first point. It's pretty good for Widowmaker, those really long sight lines. There's no real way for goats to touch you. So the Pharah as well, very powerful. So I don't know, this could be good. I'll see if Order are ready to face this.
Oh, they're not expecting it. Jordation gets absolutely slammed in the face.
That is Jordation back to the bin. Felons really clicking on his head there, I guess.
But immediately the change up from Order. It's not going to be Genji first sign, but it is Sombra. So that's something you'll be happy to see, I'm sure.
This is new as well. Before, when they were playing this composition, Jordation would actually go Sombra and Sign would go into the flex support role, just because Jordation had a good Sombra from when he played in Sydney Drop Bears, and we found it better that he was able to communicate with quads and set that up.
Well, maybe something has shifted there. It's Sign now. We know that he's a very, very accurate hit scan player, generally speaking. But haven't seen too much of it in the last couple of seasons of Overwatch Contenders.
Yeah, he has fantastic game. So, Yuki getting taken out there by Felons. And they're not respecting this Widowmaker. They really aren't. Already with their ultimate charged up, this will make things a lot harder for Signed and a lot harder for the team in general of Order. So they look to be stuck at the moment.
And the Moira there as well for Jordation. So he's obviously feeling the pressure. But it is a matter of time before Order get this EMP up. And that, I think, is where you start to see the shift coming across.
Yeah, that's really the power spike on the side of Order, but if that EMP is poor and it only catches the Winston or the D.Va and they can get the nano boost out to heal them up, then things could go pretty poorly here. As you see, Winter laying a lot of damage down as Quads uses his jump in. The cart has moved through the main chokehold though, so Order doing well to get it there.
Kot's also finding Felons, and that I think is going to be a massive pressure reliever for Order, particularly for the supports. It gives them so much more freedom to work with. Winter being chased as well now, and he's up in the air, but so is the rest of Order. Here comes the Rocket Barrage, but it won't have any real issues, any concerns there for Order. And even without the EMP, even without really any ultimates there from Order, they still push through point A pretty comfortably.
Quats with some monkey magic there, getting 4 in the fight, managed to pick off Felons on the Widowmaker early, and then getting a little Kraken on the Ana as well. So a bit of miscommunication there, I guess, from the side of Sydney Drop Bears. The Mercy should have been there to help out those two players. As we see Sydney Droppers now swapping back to that 3-3 composition, Order will look to, as soon as they use this EMP, the initiation.
They don't need it. They don't need it. Stein has already managed to get a crack, and Shoyo's on no HP. Coalescence across from Jordation is going to be enough to win this fight for Order. And that is like the cheapest ultimate you're ever going to get, right? You can charge that one up in the even half a fight.
Yeah, you'd be really happy if you were Order there. Managed to get a very cheap fight win, and now Jordation swapped over to the Zenyatta. Now they'll try and win this fight off the signed EMP. It can be difficult. No support ults on the side of the Sydney Droppers, as they had to swap all 3 of their support heroes. Well, this could be dangerous for a big time bank as well.
Yeah,
Sign's really lining this one up.
Yeah. Oh, you saw him almost going for it. Now here we go. This will be the EMP across. There's no shield bash to stop it. Cracking down early on in the piece, but he did get his counterpart in the meanwhile, so it was an even fight before Winter fell. Obviously, without the ability to use the ultimates, it became a lot more difficult for Sydney Drop Bear. Signed is covered off well by the sound barrier from Hunter, as is the rest of Order.
Yeah, Yuki whip-shotting Fleur off the wall there to get that kill, and they might try and stagger recontest this Drop Bears, but it could end up costing them a lot of room and a lot of time on third. As Shoyo already dropped out, no Diva Bomb to reset his mech, and Adam throws up the bomb to get him away. There's no bubble. There is a bubble from Dreamer, so that will keep him protected. But yeah, as you see, Quats is gatekeeping that door, and this is going to be an easy second point for Order.
Yeah, it's exactly what you said. If Sydney Drop Bears try to stagger onto the point, it's going to cost them a lot. Sign's already built the EMP back up. Yuki with the rally coming up shortly, and now Order have the ability to push forward and take good control in the phase C of the map. They've caught Felons. That's another stagger for Sydney Drop Bears. Order know they've got their job done. They'll just back off, take control of the high ground, and look at how much free payload push Order is going to get out of this.
Yeah, they'll be very happy with this, and if they can catch this EMP very early and on before Felons uses the Graviton Surge, they'll be even happier. So look for Felons to use this Graviton Surge quite early in this fight.
For the EMP, perhaps. I don't know that the Graviton Surge is going to come across if Signed is able to get a good one here. Straight in on top of a Kraken. I think that, well, it actually hit Shoyo, Dreamer, and Winter as well. Thought it might not. Regardless, he gets the kill onto a Kraken, which is what they wanted initially, and subsequently, the rest of Sydney Drop Bears just fall. There's nothing a Kraken can do about that one, outside of just not being there.
Yeah, I mean, got more than he bargained for there, Signed. I think he was only looking to get that Zenyatta, managed to catch the tanks as well.
But still, the recontest is going to come across for Sydney Drop Bears here, and it should be a pretty good one, although they are being forced away by the Primal Rage. Graviton Surge across from Felons here, but it's not really doing a whole lot. Order have so much to keep themselves alive here. Jordation with the Transcendence. Hunter's at 84% as well. Self-destruct from Adam caught on the lip won't do a whole lot either. But Order still surviving through in this fight, and now with the sound barrier available, the beat drop should come across. It does, and this is where Order will look to push forward and win the map.
Sign getting close to that EMP should close out the map here. Gets the hack onto Felons, and no external bubble for Dreamer. Quad's going very low and going down, so he might hold on to this EMP now that Adam is very low. The Shatter comes in, and he's cleaning up the rest. I think that's it for Order for now. They can't. Adam might try and stick around to get a back cap, but he's down.
What went wrong there for Order is, like, they actually won the previous fight too cleanly. You know what I mean? Like, Order, they got a Kraken for free, they got the tanks for free. So Sydney Drop Bears didn't invest any ultimates there at all. So when they come back for the recontest, the final hold, they've literally just got everything they want.
Yeah, they managed to get everything they want out of it. Now you see a rare sight. Order playing this Sombra Goats composition with Adam on Zarya. This is something I can guarantee they wouldn't have practiced. They are firm believers in the 3-3. None of this Sombra stuff. So let's see how Adam goes on it.
Used to play Zarya a lot back in the day before Goats was a thing.
Definitely does, but Droppers have a nice little split here, trying to minimize the amount of people caught by this EMP. They managed to get 3, but a Cracking with the Transcendence to answer means no one's going to go down, and Felons now has his grab of his own.
It's a very good Transcendence from a Crack. It might be enough to save the map here for Sydney Drop Bears. He does get his own grab down quite nicely as well. There's nothing to answer for Order, so it's just a matter of time before they fall. Self-destruct in from Shoyo will also do some good damage. Time for Order to back away again.
Adam must have been doing a lot of damage that fight. He built himself 80% of a Graviton Surge, so I guess he'll be happy with that. He's actually managed to kill a Kraken there at the end. And maybe a bit of ill discipline from the side of the Sydney Drop Bears.
That doesn't really matter though. I mean, Kraken's going to respawn a lot faster than Order's going to be able to get back into position to fight. And pretty dire situation now for Order. I mean, I guess you could say, okay, we've got the Graviton Surge. Maybe we get a good Grab Surge combo with the Shatter. EMP will be up very shortly as well. there's still a chance for them to push on through here, but it's not going to be with much time remaining, or even perhaps any time remaining.
I think you'll look to get the support ults out with the Graviton Surge and then follow up with an EMP Shatter here if you're the side of the Order. There's a lot of offensive abilities ready for them.
Sounds like a good strategy to me, but Adam's still hanging on to it. 30 seconds on the clock here for Order. Still some time to play with. When is this Graviton Surge going to come out, though? It is really the linchpin, and if Shoyo eats it, I mean, that's basically map over for Order at that point. Instead, signed with EMP now available. Maybe that's what they were waiting for, but perhaps they've waited too long. Dreamer gets the good shatter across, but no kills come from it for Sydney Drop Bears. Now Grav is out, which also baits out the Transcendence. Now EMP, it's not going to cancel the sound barrier from Fluoro. Very well timed from him. Doesn't make much of a difference here, though. Well, Graviton Surge down, I think, for Sydney Drop Bears certainly will. Yuki and Quats caught in that one. They won't be getting out of it alive either. A couple of picks coming back across here for Order, but just not enough to give you that feeling that they're going to push through here and cap out point C. Very solid hold from Sydney Drop Bears. Nicely timed on the ultimates, and you've got to feel like, man, if that EMP would have come across a second or 2 seconds later, it totally cancels the sound barrier that Fluoro throws down, and could have been a totally different fight. But
yeah, Fluoro's hiding on the other side of the wall, knowing that EMP Shadow was coming out. Very well done from him to come across and counter it with his beat drop. Kept his team alive after the big Shadow from Quartz after the EMP. So very well done by the Sydney Drop Bears. After losing that fight for free on first and then only to the Coalescence on the first fight a second, it was looking pretty dire, but they managed to come back on the third point and really solidify. It is a big push. It's almost all the way to the end. I think it was like 0.2 meters or something, so this could be close.
Could be. Order have shown a tendency to be pretty decent on the defense, though. There was obviously the one blunder on Volskaya, which we've spoken about to length, but on King's Row they had no issues, and when they actually had defense chances on Volskaya, they were really quite solid. So I'm not prepared to call this one for Sydney Drop Bears just yet. The beauty of that not being capped, though, by Order is that we know we're going to get a result out of this next round. It's not going to go into the overtime or anything like that. Either Sydney Drop Bears wins or they lose.
I like that. I like that too. I don't like going to overtime. There's lots of pressure, lots of stress, some wacky comps come out. Not my favourite, but it is good for the view. Yeah,
I've always hated going into overtime with a time bank advantage, because you know, like, okay, we could still lose this. And when you do, it's just, yeah, not a good feeling.
Okay, this could be something interesting from the side of Sydney Drop Bears if they do roll. Okay, they don't. Winter has just baited me for the second time.
I've been waiting for it as well.
There is a Tourbillon Goat strategy, and it is fantastic, and I can't wait to see a team bring it out.
I feel like if there was any team to bring it out, it would have been blank. Maybe we'll get to see it from them this season as well. Maybe. They do show a tendency to stick on those stranger compositions. I'm not sure if that kind of style will continue this season, but I hope it does. Shoyo going to try and contest the high ground, but runs into 3 opponents, so not much for him to do there apart from drop back down to the loving arms of the rest of Sydney Drop Bears.
Yeah, and this is the roof setup on the side of Order, looking to get those biotic grenades from the top, trying to get on top of the enemies. It's very similar to the Volskaya hold. The Vert Nade comes out from Jordation, doesn't catch anything. Yuki goes down, Watts goes down, and this looks like they'll be able to get to the fountain for free here.
There's a couple of quick picks early on for Sydney Drop Bears. That's a bit out of the ordinary for Order.
Yeah, the Drop Bears were able to get onto the high ground, something I don't think the Order guys were ready for, that rotation. Managed to just speed at them, essentially. And once this Goat's composition is on top of you, if you're an Ana, you're very sad, and if you're a Brig, you're very sad too.
This will be a tough one for Order to hold.
Yeah, it will be. I think coming in and recontesting this when the opposing team already has set up is very difficult to retake. You can see Nano Boost coming out from Jordation onto Quads. He manages to get 2 kills here. So, okay,
how have they done this?
They've done this by getting Quads in there, swinging on people with a Nano Boost, and he's managed to stay alive long enough.
What?
Dreamer, now he's come back with the charge, manages to pick up Unto, who was on the walls, and that's going to be the turn of the fight.
I was going to say,
Transcendence.
That Earth Shatter looked like it was a little bit wishful thinking for Dreamer, but then he gets signed. The charge through onto Unta. How has that happened, Order? Come on.
Oh, I think Unta will be filthy there. He was in a position on the walls, and Dreamer's just vacuumed him up and pinned him for 300 damage.
Vacuumed him up. That's one way to put it. I think I heard once that Unta was afraid of vacuums when he was a kid, so that makes things...
You know what? I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Every time the vacuum cleaner turned on, he ran away. It's like, you know, when you have a dog. It goes crazy when there's loud noises.
Yeah, no, that does remind me of Unta a little bit.
Well, that's not true at all. I made it up. But Order, 5 ultimates available for them. Is it going to be even enough? Is it going to matter? Because that's a very early Graviton Surge down from Felons. Luckily, Adam's able to get the trade with the self-destruct. Quat's on the floor here, very low. He'll be pushed by Dreamer. Shoyo also diving on top of Jordation, maybe scaring him a little bit. And for Sydney Drop Bears, this is a much, much more welcome-looking kind of a game. They're looking so much better here on Dorado than they have at all during this series.
They're looking much better. Dreamer with a couple of big fights out of him, making plays and opening up opportunities. A day late and a dollar short with that beat drop, Max. You've killed Signed again for the second time, but it would be interesting to see another counter bomb from Adam too. This is something that they've done all series with Adam, using that self-destruct defensively to get kills.
Definitely. High ground is, of course, here for Order, but to get the Graviton Surge down, they're going to have to deal with the Diva Mech, and the Diva Mech itself is going to get the kill onto Jordation, which means no hope of a Transcendence here at all. Quats did throw a Shatter down by the looks of things, but that hasn't really resulted in anything. Still gets the pin onto a Kraken, and now we turn back to a 5v5 with both of the Zenyatas being out of the picture. Ultimates are available, however, for Sydney Drop Bears, where they are not for Order. That'll be the end of Quats. Shatter down also means the end of the rest of Order. So Drop Bears pushing through point B fairly comfortably. Just the last couple of staggers left to deal with.
Yeah, and they'll have a massive time bait coming in here. About 4 minutes, I think they'll have. 4 minutes 20, in fact. So this is looking pretty risky for the side of Order.
Yeah, these are not maps that you want to be dropping this early in the season.
No, and it's very important for the map differential. To only walk away with a 1 map differential on your first game, you get pretty nervous towards the end of the season, but that thing matters.
Again, admittedly, we expect that Sydney Drop Bears should be a more difficult opponent than some for Order, but especially with a newer roster.
Oh yeah, Sydney will be
you don't really think that they should be able to challenge should be able to challenge Order this hard. Yet they are.
Yeah, very impressive signs from Sydney Drop Bears with this new retooled roster. I think Dreamer's been playing very well, actually. Felons has had his moments too, but Dreamer I think is the best pickup for me.
Yeah, Felons has been inconsistent, but he has definitely had his moments, like you say. Well, for Sydney Drop Bears, 3 minutes and 33. We did see Order come in with a similar kind of a time bank, and it didn't really work out too well for them. Now look at what Order has to play with here. Early Graviton Surge again, starting off the fight on their own feet here as Sydney Drop Bears, but instantly that is going to be swept out from underneath them with an Earth Shatter, a Graviton Surge, a Self-Destruct. Literally everything that Order had, bar the sound barrier, is invested there.
Yeah, they managed to keep that one in the next fight, but Drop Bears also investing a lot of ultimates. So we're now in this dry fight situation where it will just be a Kraken and Dreamer with their ults and Unter with his. We're looking for another big Earth Shatter out of Dreamer here. Let's see if he can get this set up from Winter. Or even Fluoro could probably set it up with a knock up or knock to the side, of course. As we see them approaching, 2 minutes still on time X, they'll still feel happy about that. The card hasn't moved too much though, and this high ground from Order is something that the Drop Bears will be quite concerned with. With Zenyatta, Brig, Zarya sitting on that high ground, they can get a lot of ult charge shooting over the top of that shield.
Gonna need it.
Fluoro as well, just to knock the Zarya off there. Well, I'll show you, it looks like to be in a lot of trouble. Dreamer throws out the Earth Shadow, but it counts for nothing. The beat drop from Unter comes through, and Jordation on that high ground has been able to get an angle onto Dreamer and take him out. And that's the fight over already.
Yeah, it was a bit of a lackluster fight, really, in the end. Like, anticlimactic, to say the least. Kraken does have his Transcendence. There'll be a sound barrier for Sydney Drop Bears, but we start to get into one-fight territory soon.
Yeah, you'll be looking for an eco push essentially out of the Sydney Drop Bears, where they can just build some ultimates and then you are in that last fight situation. Things are looking good for Order now, with the only investing the sound barrier that fight. They are up to like 4 ults now.
It's looking a little bit dire for Sydney Drop Bears here. It was potentially a winnable map, but now you start to say that this would probably shift toward Order. And what a table turn this is. Order are defending from the attacking position, Sydney Drop Bears attacking from a defending position, and yet here we go into the next fight. Signed with the Graviton Surge through and comboed with the Self-Destruct, but a little bit too high maybe there from Adam, not having any damage coming from it. But the rest of the ultimates are still in play for Order. Transcendence, Earth Shatter available as well for Quads, but he's a little too low to be throwing it out at this point. Now Graviton Surge back from Felons. It's not going to catch too much, but Winter will. Unter and Quads going down, and for what I just said, it's sort of...
And this is dangerous for Order because they're just going to be staggering on now. big Earth Shatter out of Dreamer will be able to clean up Cyan, and that was the danger man. Actually, the big play out of that fight was Shoyo managing to force out the Transcendence out of Jordation early.
Yuki swapped straight onto Batiste here. There's obviously also the Wrecking Ball for Quats, but are they going to get to the point in time? There is the attempted hold there. Quats booped away, and now the meters start ticking on down. Yuki's out of the picture. This is going to be Order, surely, to win the map, and it is, at the very least. I mean, Sydney Drop Bears, not Order, but 2-1. For Sydney Drop Bears, and only a 1 map advantage for Order. It's still the series victory that they would have expected and they would have wanted, and that I think all of us really expected, but
they get the points for the series victory, but it really gets the noggin jog in that one.
That's right, the noggin jogging, I like it.
Yeah, and I think that Order probably not happy with only walking away with the 1 map differential, but they're going to have to be. They're going to have to go back to the drawing board and look at themselves and ask, what did we do wrong here?
Yeah, well, there certainly was a little bit to take a look at there, particularly on Dorado. Volsky, again, that kind of feels like a little bit more of a snowball from Order, but definitely you want to go back and look at Dorado and see, like, okay, how did we mess up a little bit here against the Sydney Drop Bears? With that said, I'm actually very happy with the result that we've gotten here, because I sort of come into this season thinking, you know what, there's not really looking like, at least to me on paper, there was anyone that could actually realistically challenge Order. I sort of thought that they would be going back to Sydney Drop Bears of Season 2, Season 3, where they kind of just ran through everyone, no problems at all. But immediately off the bat, we've seen Sydney Drop Bears are definitely a contender. If you can beat Order, beat Order on 1 or 2 maps, or come close to it, after having lost 4-1 in the season finals, it shows that there is the ability to contest. We have yet to see what we're going to get from Warriors as well. So I definitely think that there is going to be a bit of a tussle for that top 3 placing.
Yeah, it's really good. It shows some sign of competition here. Drop Bears finding some two good new players and taking the Mavericks players as well from last season and really making it work so far. I think this would be a good result. I think they'd be very happy with this result, in fact.
Yeah, definitely. For players like Kraken and Shoyo, who have been in this Sydney Drop Bears roster since the beginning, really, you'd be looking and saying, okay, you know, things didn't go well last season, but we were once the best team in the region by a long margin. And that's kind of where we want to get back to. Do we feel like we can get there with this roster? Well, I guess you'd have to feel like that. Otherwise, why are you still there?
Well, yeah, and I think that with a little more preparation, maybe it could have gone either way on maps like Kings Row. I think Kings Row could have been better for Sydney Drop Bears with a little bit more preparation, and now they've got that time over the next however many weeks. I think with 10 weeks or 11-week season, they've got a lot of time before the finals, and I could see Sydney Drop Bears going and doing a very deep run here.
All right, well, we do still have one more thing to chat about before we get into the break. It's something that everyone in the Overwatch community knows and loves. It's the Macca's play of the game. Well, today's Macca's Australia play of the game is going to be Quads, and you spoke about this as well. Nice juggling from him.
Yeah, it's deceptively hard to do, actually. It takes a lot of practice. Getting the air juggles as well, it's very special. It's almost like taking a specky in the footy. You love to see it. All
right, that's definitely a very Australian way of putting it. I'm not sure how many of our viewers are going to really understand that one, but definitely nice from Quats. And we've seen him a few times. We've actually seen a few Winston juggles, and I do enjoy watching them because it's the kind of thing like, okay, yeah, you can hit a 5-man grab and a self-destruct combo, and that looks really cool on the kill feed, but it's kind of like the little instances of these other sort of plays that I like to kind of take a look at. It's definitely harder than it looks, like you say.
Yeah, Primal Rages and Genji Blades often look cool, and they are cool. They're very hard to do as well. A lot of practice goes into that.